Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mike's Indie Corner. On this episode, we are taking a look at a request from our patron, Bailey TICE, with a, I guess what you can call an indie game classic, To the Moon.
In the dark we saw them shine, you and me.
Now, this game is widely considered like an indie game classic, mostly because it's another one of those games you're not playing it for the gameplay, although I will say there is gameplay, more so than some other games are reviewed, but you're not playing it so much for that as you're playing it for the story. The story is the key selling point, and the writing apparently is very emotional. I've heard about people I know who don't cry at anything, who have teared up while playing this game. So it's like, oh shit, okay, gotta check this out. So I played it, and yeah, it's really good. It's a really good game. Like again, the gameplay is very, very simple. It plays out like basically like an old school 8-bit Final Fantasy game. Like, it's all 8-bit. There's very minimalistic. There's no combat. There's nothing like that. The whole focus of the story, the whole focus of the game is just the story and the characters within it. That's the big selling point, and that's what you're in there for. And yeah, it delivers, it pays off, it is an emotional experience, and it does have a very well-rounded, fulfilling story with a good, like, beginning, middle, end. There is kind of a cliffhanger, kind of, sort of, and I know they're planning to make a sequel, but at the same time, it's like, it's not a big enough cliffhanger that if it just stopped there, you wouldn't be pissed off that, like, oh crap, now they never made a sequel. Brrr. Like, no. It has a nice setup, so it's like you're satisfied by the end. It's like, okay, I can stop there and I'd be perfectly fine. Without going too much into the story beats and stuff, the basic concept is, what if they took the technology of Inception and used it for therapy? No, like, it's like Inception mixed with like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So it's like these two scientist people who go in there, like the person's dying wish, and they fulfill it in their mind, and like in the client's mind, they fulfill their deepest desire, or whatever. But they do that by going through memories and connecting like where the desire originates to present day, and that's how they somehow get it to actually happen. I don't quite get how the mechanics work. As well as saying, you just kind of go with it, because like again, the mechanics aren't the biggest point of the story. The story is just of this. Without giving anything away. Like, this is a game where you should go in there without knowing, believe what the story is, without having spoiled it for you, or really knowing much about it, other than it is a very sweet romance story. It is very sweet. It has really good characterizations on the client you're doing this for, and the person that he's chosen to partner with. And like, it's a very good emotional story. It has a lot of good highs and lows. It's very sweet, very tragic, very heartbreaking. And thank God it has a happy ending, because if it didn't, I'd be like, oh, fuck you. It does have a happy ending. It is absolutely worth taking the time to actually play it. On a gameplay perspective itself, there's not much really to it. You can explore the environment. There are some stuff to kind of click and play around with. There are a couple little mini games. The biggest mini game that keeps coming up is between every memory you have to go to, you get to have these like little puzzles where you try to make a picture by flipping tiles, and there's like if you do it right, you do this many moves, and that kind of thing. So that adds some mix to it, but it's like, I don't know, it's more or less just a distraction, and just to say you can't, just so you can say that's technically a game, because again, it's not the focus. In fact, like, all the, like, mini-games, all the puzzles are really more optional, more or less, except for the one I just described. You have to do that one every single time, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Most of them are pretty simple. I don't have many complaints about this game, which I know, shocking for me. But the one thing that I have to harp on, and I know I might get shit on this with some of the fans, is the banter between the two main scientists that you're stuck with. Humor is very subjective. I want to make that clear. Because these characters fucking annoy the shit out of me. Like, the humor did not do anything for me at all. I was like, oh, for the love of God, shut up. You're not funny. Let's focus on the people we should be focusing on. Because they're way more interesting. They're way more likable. And I want to see their story much more than I care about this guy's dumb jokes. And there's so many dumb jokes in the entire game. It's not enough to kill the experience. But there are times I'm just like, oh, just stop talking. Stop talking. Please, for the love of all that is good and holy in this world, shut the fuck up. Now, I know, I know people like some of the banter. Some people do. Some people don't. People are kind of mixed about it. It is, humor is subjective at the best of times. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm picky when it comes to my humor. So, this humor just didn't do anything for me. If it does for you, good on you. It'll add to the experience for you. For me, it was kind of just a needless distraction. Like, okay, I get we have a tough emotional story here, but don't try to fucking balance it with this kind of stupid humor. You don't need it. You don't need it. You can have an emotional story and just have an emotional story. I don't need comedic relief every 5 seconds just so I don't have to deal with my sad, poor little brain can't handle it. Again, it's subjective. I'm hoping this, the writing on that regard is not great. Thank God the writing's good where it counts. That's pretty much where I'm going. It's really fucking good where it counts, and that's what saves it from becoming a total fucking disaster. Is just that the writing on the core of the game is excellent, and it does tell a great story. So that is where it counts. There's really not much more I can say without giving a lot of stuff away, so I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. Really liked it. If you're game to indie game market, it's a must-play. You gotta play it. It's an indie game classic. Go check it out. It's widely regarded as one of the best stories in video games right now, so definitely worth checking out. Yeah, this is one of the shorter videos. So I think I have a couple more requests coming up, mostly horror games. I got a lot of horror games going on right now. We just recorded a Let's Play of Five Nights at Freddy's the other day, so I'll probably do a review of that just because I've played most of it. I also have a request for Spooky's House of Jump Scares, which is... I've only played it for a little bit. Clever fucking bastard. Clever bastard this game is. And then I got another one for a game called Dungeon Nightmares. That's what it's called, Dungeon Nightmares, which I'll probably do a Let's Play on since we're doing that now. That's another fun little thing. Look out for that on the YouTube channel pretty soon. Other than that, that's all I got here, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope this recommendation did it for you if you haven't already decided. And yeah, see you all next episode of Mike's Indie Corner. Bye-bye.